Welcome in, everyone, to Lively Lewis Stories.
That's right, we're back with even more awesome adventures with Levi and Ivy.
Set your storytime meter to fun and get ready to join the Lively Lewis crew.
All you need is your imagination and...
Off we go! I can't wait to see where our story takes us today.
Have you ever wanted to get more Lively Lewis in your life?
Well, we've got you covered.
Grab an adult and zoom over to livelylewisshop.com.
Or just click on the link in our show notes.
Enough about that. Let's get to today's super Lively Lewis story.
The story you're about to enjoy was inspired by Miss Purple. Thank you so much for your amazing idea. Levi and Ivy jumped out of bed on a chilly fall morning and couldn't get ready for the day fast enough. They changed up quickly, brushed their teeth, and ran downstairs. And their excitement wasn't because it was Saturday, or that it was almost Halloween, or that they were having pancakes for breakfast. They were beyond excited that morning because it marked the opening of a new store in their town. A store that had been waiting for them since they saw the sign go up a few months ago. A store that sold nothing but candy, candy, candy! Shouted Levi as he ran into the kitchen, sliding across the floor in his socks and bumping into his dad. I hardly slept last night because I was thinking about all the different kinds of candy that I need to get today, said Ivy as she grabbed a pancake from a plate by the stove. We should probably eat these in the car and get going before all the candy is gone. Good idea, said Levi as he quickly drank the glass of orange juice that was on the kitchen table. It was then that their parents knew they had to step in, or they would have a full-on candy catastrophe on their hands. First of all, good morning. And second, we're sitting down to have breakfast together, and then we can go to the new candy store, said Levi and Ivy's mom, trying to calm her kids down. But it's not just a candy store, began Ivy. It's a King Candy store, which means it only carries King Candy, the best candy ever on planet Earth. Maybe even the whole galaxy, added Levi. I mean, they haven't really done much candy research in outer space. Levi and Ivy's dad began to laugh, delighted by his kids' energy and enthusiasm. He loved candy too, and had to admit he was really excited when he heard that a King Candy store was moving into their town. Kiddos, we will get to the candy store. I'm sorry, King Candy store this morning, and you will have more than enough candy to choose from, said Levi and Ivy's dad. I passed by there the other day, and there were giant trucks outside all filled with candy. So I don't think they'll be running out soon. I saw those trucks too a few days ago when we were riding to school, said Ivy. Giant trucks in the classic blue and purple King Candy colors filled with all my favorite candies. Like King Colossal Chocolate Bars, King Choco Caramel Twisters, and King Purple Lunar Lollipops, added Levi. How can we possibly wait another second? Declared Ivy. We need to leave right now. Kids, they won't be open for another 2 hours, said Levi and Ivy's mom, reassuring her kids that they wouldn't be missing anything at the candy store if they sat down and ate breakfast. I couldn't even think about eating right now, said Levi. Oh no, do you not feel well? Asked Levi's dad. What? I feel fine. Oh, I can't think of eating right now because I need to save room for all that King Candy, said Levi. Levi and Ivy's parents finally got their kids to sit down and eat something before they ran off to their playroom. Once there, Levi and Ivy looked at 2 maps. They were maps they had created of King Candy store, just from looking in the windows as the store was getting put together. They had mapped out where all of their favorite candies were so they could run in and get exactly what they were looking for before it was all gone. You see, everyone in town was excited for the new candy store, and everyone in town loved King Candy. So Levi and Ivy knew it would be a good possibility that some of the more popular candy varieties would sell out, especially since it was close to Halloween. And everyone in town would most likely want to stock up for trick-or-treaters. After looking over their maps one last time, Levi and Ivy were confident that they knew the store inside and out. I'll go right for King Crispy Crunchers when we get in there, declared Ivy as she discussed the plan that she and Levi had been working on all week. And I'll go right for the King Kapow Super Sour Syrup, added Levi, giving his sister a high five. They rolled up their maps, tucked them into their pockets, and ran off to get their parents. who told them they would leave an hour before the store opened so they could get a good spot in line. And that's exactly what they did. Levi and Ivy took off down the sidewalk as their parents followed behind them. "I hope they have as much fun once the store opens," said Levi and Ivy's mom to their dad. "They've built it up so much in their heads by this point." "There's no way they could be disappointed, even the littlest bit," replied Levi and Ivy's dad with a smile. "After all, we are talking about King Candy, the best candy ever on planet Earth." They continued to follow their kids until they got closer to the store and saw that a line had begun to form just outside the door. Kids and parents were all patiently waiting and very excited to get inside, each one hoping that the candy store would live up to their expectations. "Do you think there will be any new candies that we haven't heard about before inside?" asked Levi to Ivy and some other kids that were waiting in line. "I haven't even thought of that," answered one little boy as his eyes got wide and a smile spread across his face. "Maybe a new lollipop with a caramel center or a bubble candy soda that turns your mouth blue and purple," said another little girl. "Or how about a candy that blends together vegetables, chocolate, and a colorful candy shell," said a voice from behind them. Levi and Ivy and the other kids turned around quickly to see who had said that, but no one was there. "You heard that too, right?" asked Ivy. "Yep, and I sure hope it was someone trying to be funny," said Levi. "Who would ever want to mix candy and vegetables together? Yuck!" The kids continued to talk about the delicious ooey-gooey chocolate candy as they waited for King Candy Store to open. Then, just when they thought they couldn't wait one more minute, they saw a figure inside the store, and it started to head toward the door. Everyone waiting outside got very excited and turned their attention to the store. The handle of the door jiggled, and in one swift motion, it swung open. "Welcome, everyone, to King Candy Store," said a woman whose voice sounded very familiar to Levi and Ivy. "Doesn't that voice sound like the one that mentioned candy vegetables before?" asked Levi to Ivy. "It sure does," answered Ivy. "It has to be a joke, right?" They both didn't want to miss a thing, so instead of continuing their conversation, they turned their full attention back to the front door of the candy store. "My name is Miss Purple, and I am happy to have you all here to celebrate the grand opening of King Candy Store," said the woman. "Please come in and enjoy." Everyone in line applauded and started making their way into the store. Once inside, the overwhelming, delicious sweet smell of chocolate and candy filled the air. It smelled incredible. And only better than the smell filling the candy store were the visuals. Everywhere you looked, there was candy, candy, candy! Lollipops, chocolate bars, gummy candies, bubble drinks, cotton candy, gum, taffy, fudge, and caramels as far as the eye could see, in every color and flavor you could ever imagine. Levi and Ivy raced around, forgetting all about the maps they had made and all about which candies they were supposed to grab first. Inside of the candy store was better than they could have imagined, and they just wanted to take it all in before starting to collect their candy. "I've never seen this King Purple Lunar Lollipop flavor before," exclaimed Levi. "It's Cosmic Caramel Green Apple, just perfect for fall." "King Candy thinks of everything," added Ivy, holding up a new candy bar. "This new candy has pumpkin spice blend right in the chocolate, and it's topped with s'more cookie crumbles, so it tastes like a campfire treat in every bite." Levi and Ivy's parents just watched on as their kids beamed with excitement and ran all over the candy store. As Levi and Ivy looked at the delicious candy, some new ones and some classic flavors, they were interrupted by Miss Purple. "Hello, my King Candy friends. I hope you're having a great time in the candy store," said Miss Purple. "As I mentioned earlier, I want to thank you again for celebrating the grand opening with me." "Hi, I'm Ivy, and this is my brother Levi, and we wouldn't have missed it for the world," replied Ivy. "That's what we like to hear at King Candy," said Miss Purple as she handed Levi and Ivy 2 King Candy bags. "Today we're doing a special promotion for the grand opening. You can fill this bag with anything in the store for only $10. "Wow, that's a deal," said Levi as his parents walked over. $10 is a great deal," said Levi's dad. "And we can fill that bag to the tippity top as long as you let me add in a few King Colossal jelly beans." "Sure thing, Dad," giggled Levi. "And you can add whatever you'd like to my bag," said Ivy to her mom with a smile. Thank you, sweetie, replied Ivy's mom as she looked around the store. As Levi and Ivy's parents made their way past display after display of candy treats, Miss Purple talked a little bit more to Levi and Ivy. I couldn't help but notice how excited you got all about our new fall candies, said Miss Purple. You two seem to be big King Candy fans. The biggest, answered Levi and Ivy together. Then you'll love our newest candy. I mean, it's so new that it's not even out on the shelves yet. It's called Covered Veggies, said Miss Purple, trying to make the new candy sound super cool and exciting. I was hoping to get some kids to taste test them, see if they'd be a good fit for our King Candy store. So it was you that we heard when we were waiting in line. I mean, we love King Candy. It's the best candy ever on planet Earth, but I don't think even Mr. King himself could make a candy-covered veggie that tastes good. Yeah, candy is something you get to eat as a treat after you finish your veggies, added Ivy. I totally get it. It's a hard concept to understand, but you have to trust me. The new veggie candy is great, incredibly, wonderfully great, said Miss Purple, trying to convince Levi and Ivy. No one loves all the classic King Candy treats more than me, but this new candy is a taste like any other, and you have yet to try it. I just love it. And as Miss Purple talked, she took out a few brightly wrapped candies from her pocket. They were covered in the classic candy blue and purple wrappers and had tiny pictures of broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and carrots on them. Miss Purple then took off the wrapper, revealing a candy that looked just like any other tasty chocolate-dipped King Candy in the store. But as soon as she bit into it, you could see the veggies inside. They're absolutely great. The combo of veggie and candy is one taste that the candy world has been missing for too long, said Miss Purple with a big smile on her face. Here, why not add a few to your bags? You'll be the first kids to ever try them. So when you do, please come back and let me know what you think. I'd love to put them on our shelves before Halloween if you think they're a hit. And without another word, Miss Purple grabbed a few of the candy-covered veggies and tossed them in each of their bags. My favorite part is how the chocolate layer blends so well with the thin candy shell and the fresh veggie, smiled Miss Purple as she popped another candy-covered veggie in her mouth. Broccoli, my favorite. Levi and Ivy didn't want to be rude, so they thanked Miss Purple for telling them about the new candy and told her they would be sure to try them when they got home. Excellent, that's great. I can't wait to hear what you think of them, said Miss Purple. You know there's always room at King Candy for some new candy creators. Levi and Ivy's eyes got wide. They couldn't believe what they were hearing. Could they really help come up with candy ideas for King Candy, the best candy maker ever on planet? What is it? Earth! That's right. Yes, we'll definitely be back, Miss Purple, said Ivy. Thank you, said Levi as he and his sister continued their tour of the store, adding more and more candy to their bags as they went. They finally met up with their parents after circling the store at least twice. Then they went to the register where Miss Purple was waiting for them. It was great meeting you today, said Miss Purple as she rang up Levi and Ivy, and I'm looking forward to hearing what you think about the new candy. We'll be back really soon to let you know our thoughts, said Ivy, trying to sound professional, like a real candy creator. Looking forward to it, said Miss Purple as she waved goodbye to Ivy, Levi, and their parents and continued to wait on other customers. As soon as Ivy and Levi got home, they ran right out to their treehouse. They had important work to do. After all, the fate of their new candy creation at King Candy was resting on their shoulders. They didn't want to disappoint Miss Purple, but the thought of eating chocolate-covered Brussels sprouts and carrots didn't exactly make their mouths water. So, in the comfort of their treehouse, surrounded by colorful fall leaves, they decided to start out their candy taste test by sampling a few of their favorites. And in only a moment, the floor of the treehouse was littered with wrappers from King Crispy Crunchers and King Kapow Super Sour Syrup, King Colossal Chocolate Bars, King Choco Caramel Twisters, and King Purple Lunar Lollipops. Wow, those were amazing, said Ivy, wiping some chocolate off her hands. I know, just perfect, said Levi. Knowing for what was next and not wanting to admit it, they each looked through their bags for another sweet treat to eat. Levi and Ivy both really didn't want to taste the new candy-covered veggies, but they knew they had to. They looked at each other and realized they couldn't let Miss Purple down. She was counting on them to give an honest kid's point of view on the new king candy. At least we have a few of our favorites still left so we can eat the veggie candy. We can gobble down a few of those to get the taste out of our mouths, said Ivy. Good idea, replied Levi. But you know what? Maybe we're totally wrong thinking they'll taste bad. Maybe they'll be good. After all, they were made by King Candy. The best candy ever on planet Earth, shouted Levi and Ivy together. And after taking a deep breath, they each took out a candy-covered veggie and slowly unwrapped it. They stared at the new candy, and if you didn't see the wrapper or bite into it, you probably wouldn't have even known you were holding a Brussels sprout or a piece of broccoli. Ivy and Levi then looked at each other again and started to count down from 5. They knew what they had to do. But just as they got to 1 and were about to take their first bite, their dad popped his head into their treehouse. Hey friends, that is the end of part 1. Come back soon for part 2. Thanks for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed the story and learned a little something too.
And since we know everyone has their own story, we'd love to hear yours.
If you have an idea for a Lively Lewis story, leave a comment on our Apple Podcast review page with 5 stars, your idea, and your little one's name.
Then maybe our next adventure will be with you.
Until our next Storytime Hangout.
Thanks for listening. We can't wait to share another fun Lively Lewis story with you.